We have in the chat right now. Do we have any Charlie supporters? Anybody mourning for Charlie? Anybody want to share their experience? Um, Anybody got hit hard by the news? Maybe saw the video, and yeah, man, it was crazy. I never thought that I could be shaken so hard by the news of the death of somebody I don't even like. I don't even know the guy personally. I wasn't even like a huge fan. I used to listen to him back in the day. It was quite entertaining. Those videos that come up where Charlie Kirk destroys liberal, and all of the clickbait titles and stuff like that. And I think it's regardless of what your political beliefs are. I think it was quite interesting to watch him debate people and just to listen to how eloquent he's able to, you know, pre- uh, present his argument. And a lot of times, obviously, he wasn't able to persuade the people on the other side to believe in the things that he believed, but nonetheless. But yeah, it's kind of crazy. Like right now, Twitter is just a cesspool of, I don't know, man. You go on there, it's very hard, I imagine, for anybody to not get infuriated by what they see on Twitter at the moment. It's just so much hate. I mean, it seems like a lot of it is coming from the left, but I'm sure there's a lot of it coming from the right. And as well, as a response, I think, to the left. And it's sad because they're just dividing us. Like this death of this person is being just used. Are there people in the chat? Is like, are people just looking at me without? I don't know how to use the chat. I've never even used this before. Welcome to live chat. Can somebody write something, or please, just to see if it like works? Or I guess, is there something I need to press? I'm really not sure. But yeah, I would really love to have a conversation. I feel like I'm talking to myself, which is kind of weird. Okay, all right. I see Harry Bird said, "Yo, what's good, Harry? How we doing?" Um anyway, man, it's a crazy cesspool, man. Like I completely understand where some people are coming from. I mean, I don't fully understand where how like why a person would cheer for or celebrate somebody's death. You know, I guess I can understand. Listen, if you truly think someone is a Nazi, or I don't even know if I'm allowed to say those words. If you truly think like someone is a fascist or a Yahtzee or all of those, or like a racist, homophobe, or like all of those things that people claim that Charlie is, I mean, I guess I could understand how these people could be so hateful towards him, and but a lot of it is coming from, misinformation. People are just taking clips completely out of context. I don't think he was like, Charlie for sure was a flawed individual in his own ways. He didn't always phrase himself correctly, but you have to understand this person does have a political affiliation, and and he has hours upon thousands of hours upon hours of him just talking, whether it's debating or streaming or whatever it is, off the cuff, and he did not tend to be politically correct. He just said whatever was on his mind at the moment, and a lot of times it didn't come out the best. I guess it didn't come out the most politically correct. So I could see how some of the things could be interpreted as like racism or hate speech or something like that. But um, honestly, for the amount of hours that this man has debating and just being on the internet, like it's actually surprising how small of a library there is of like these things that people could how small the library is of videos that people are saying like are racist or hateful. And for every single like quote unquote racist or hateful or homophobe video that you have, there are 5 videos of him encouraging or dropping some kind of helpful knowledge um for a certain race group of people, or being loving towards the LGBT or the gay community. So somebody asked, how do you think this will affect America now? I'm from UK. I just want an American opinion as I'm not fully caught up in your current political situation. Thanks. I don't know, man. I personally, I'm not conservative, or I don't identify with any political party. I think that they're designed in order to divide us, in order to divide and conquer. They're designed for us to just argue amongst each other about things that don't really even matter that much. And so we can't unite and question the government. I know it's like a very cliche thing to say this, that, and I'm sure like you've heard it plenty of times, but it's literally the oldest political tactic in the world, is just to divide and conquer. And you know, all of these politicians, they're all friends, and they're all cool, and it's all just theater that they put on, and they use the duopoly, the two political parties, just to divide us, the same way like Charlie's death right now is being used to divide us. And unfortunately, not only is it the politics and the two-party system that's dividing us. Thank you, Pennsylvania. RIP Charlie, for sure, man. uh, but also the way social media is set up at the moment is it incentivizes people to say the most outrageous things, and it pushes the fringe opinions. He's not that likely. Hey, that would be amazing. It incentivizes for for the people with the most fringe opinions to be pushed in the algorithm. So so that's somebody, I heard somebody say the other day that nuance does not go viral, right? So if you have a nuanced opinion, like for example what I have right now, like trying to understand both sides and trying to, instead of like saying, oh, Republicans are pieces of shit and they're garbage racists, da 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 da, trying to, or like saying that Democrats are like whatever, like deplorable weird freaks, like trying to understand, let's say like something as contentious as abortion, like trying to understand, hey, like let's say you're on the left, hey, I'm pro-choice. I think like people, whatever, women should be able to have abortions, right? But then at the same time being like, hey, but I understand like where like let's say somebody who's anti is coming from. Like they don't, that they just don't want, they consider these unborn kids babies and future human beings, and they just don't want to be you know they consider it uh that they consider them lives. So it's something like that. But the question was, where do I think, hold on, let me just answer the question, is where do I think this is going to go? I don't know. It's just, I think it's going to continue to divide our country. Unfortunately, I think the Trump administration is going to use it, is going to use Trump's death to push certain agendas that will take away our freedoms. So I don't know. Does anybody know like what Palantir is and who Peter Thiel is? Um, so if you don't, I'm done this too. I'm over that. Oh, I like that. Good. Hold on. Beggin Nader. I believe nothing government. Stop talking on this. Believe nothing your government. Hold on. He's not dead likely. Okay, believe nothing your government. Stop talking on this. I like that. Good. I've done this to him over that. There actually are no side. We're all humans. Can't we just be nice to each other just for a change? Yeah, I completely agree, man. We can go back. Wait, change. Let's try it. If it doesn't get better, I swear to God, we can go back to being mean. Hey, that's an amazing take. Can't I feel like, yeah, man. I wish we could just all, let's just take a week, like let's just try to, like, for 1 week, just like, no matter what your political opinion is, let's just be freaking nice, and let's just like pick one, like, that should be like, instead of all these bullshit holidays or like bullshit months where we celebrate bullshit things that don't fucking matter, we should have like a month, have a month of understanding, where, or like just a week or just one day even, where it's like people yeah, I guess I read pretty bad. So that was very terrible. I was thinking that as I was reading, that goddamn, I need to start reading a little bit more. You're right about that. But that would be dope if we had like a day, a week, or a month where it was like this, a day of understanding, where like today you have to, like, let's say, look into the other side, into look at, today you have to like teach yourself about opposing opinions, something like that, or like today, like, you can't be mad at the other party, you have to like go out with, I don't know, man. But that would be awesome if we could just stop being mean to each other for just a little bit. We don't need a month of anything, we need a lifetime of Jesus Christ. Hey, I agree with that too, man. I'm not personally Christian, and I'm not religious or anything at all, for that matter. I was born Orthodox Christian. I'm Russian, and I was born in Russia as an Orthodox Christian, and I know a little bit about religion. And at 19 years old, I converted to Islam, actually, while I was in prison. But and I studied a lot about Islam, but currently I'm not Muslim. I don't consider myself Christian. I do believe in God. I do love Jesus Christ. I love Jesus Christ, as a person, as potentially a prophet. If you believe he's God, then that's cool too. But everything that Jesus stood for, I think, is amazing. Even in a psychological, like a psychological breakdown of what Jesus represented, let's say, like, like Jordan Peterson, I think, has a breakdown of Jesus, even if you're not religious, that Jesus was a symbol of bearing, of bear how did he put it, of bearing your cross. He was a symbol of just bearing your cross and not complaining, and just going forward, because that's what he did, right? He knew that there was going to be suffering. He knew life is full of suffering, and he was a symbol of just taking that suffering head on, bearing the cross, and without complaining. And that's definitely something we could learn. But on top of that, obviously, loving thy neighbor, turning the other cheek in a symbolic way, being meek, and just trying to be understanding, for sure. Kirk is resting with Jesus now. I agree. We're glad that you have renounced Islam. I did not renounce Islam. I I don't practice Islam. I don't. Well, I guess I did. I don't practice Islam currently. But I don't. I think, I don't know, man. I don't have any like hate or anything like that for Muslim people. I think there are some amazing Muslim people. I think there are some amazing Christians. I think there are some terrible Christian people, and I think there are some terrible Christians. It just all depends, I think, on the person. And Jesus is a lie, bud. I don't think Jesus is a lie. Um, I think Jesus is, again, like I said, I'm not religious, nor am I Christian, but I think Jesus is the truth in many ways. Again, like I said, just a symbol of bearing, bearing your suffering, bearing the cross without complaining, I think is great. And if people could live their life like that, I don't think there's anything deceitful about that. And I don't think that that's a lie at all. I wish people could just be kind to each other, like someone can disagree with another person, but killing them is really horrible. I mean, killing, yeah, killing is just, that's a whole another level of respect other cultures and religions. Yeah, I think like killing is obviously just a terrible thing. I mean, we should all be able to just talk to one another and have a difference of opinion, and not only not kill each other. I think we should be able to be friends, like good friends. Like I have plenty of friends that have completely different political, ideological, social beliefs than me, and we can argue, we can debate, we can even have like a pretty, pretty like loud debate, but then at the end of it we can still remain friends. Like just because we have opposing views and opinions, um doesn't, he loved Iranians, that's funny you say that. Yeah, just because we have opposing opinions doesn't mean we can't be friends. Like I think that's, life is so much more interesting when you have friends that believe different things from you, that have opposing opinions from you. Like if you're just surrounding yourself with a bunch of copies of you that just parrot the same shit and that completely agree with everything you have to say, I feel like conversation is so boring like that. Like I feel like debate and engaging in discussions with people who are different opinion from you is so much more fun, and you're able to learn, you're able to look at things from different perspectives. You don't always have to agree, but it's so much more fun like that, versus just surrounding yourself with a bunch of people like that believe what you believe. It's retarded. But yeah, he did love Iranians. I hear that. I heard that recently, that he actually was lobbying, quote unquote, or advising Donald Trump against attacking Iran when we attacked Iran for Israel. And yeah, it's very interesting actually. The this last the hey these last hey babe, I'm live on YouTube. I decided to go live on YouTube and just to, I guess, talk with people. Yeah, so my girl is here, and she was at the gym, and I guess I'm gonna sign off. But everyone that was here, this was my first time ever going live. I actually kind of enjoyed being able to rant like this. Yeah, if everyone that's here that kind of, I guess, enjoyed the conversation, I guess give me a follow, a sub, and we could talk at a later time. Um, Also, yeah, I guess that's it. And yeah, peace. It was a good talk. Let me just look, see if I missed any comments. You loved Iranians. That's interesting. I think everybody should look into that. Like look up Charlie Kirk, Iran, and Trump, and you'll see some very interesting things. If I see, oh, okay, hold on. If I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. So that's good. Yeah, okay. So hold on, babe, before we go. All right. So yeah, I see that that's one of the video clips that people are posting quite frequently in order to say that Charlie was racist and things like that. So but you have to put that into context. He didn't just say like, oh, if I see, like, randomly, if I see a black pilot, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. He was talking about specifically as it relates to DEI, to diversity, equity, and inclusion. So he was saying that because of DEI programs, that now not only him but people in general, when they see minorities in certain jobs, they might start thinking that, hey, I hope this person is qualified. That is something that happened, for example, because of affirmative action in Ivy League schools that certain people deserve to be in those Ivy League schools, and certain people, whether they were black or whatever, and then certain people, they were put in those schools because of affirmative action, and students started looking at them like, let's say it's a black person in an Ivy League school, and he might completely have the grades to be able to be there, and he might be qualified, but a lot of people question whether they're qualified or not because of affirmative action, because certain people went to these colleges and were put in these colleges due to affirmative action and they weren't qualified. And that's how Charlie was saying that specific instance. When I see, if I see a black pilot because of DEI, I'm going to be like, boy, I hope he's qualified. Because the thing, what happens is with DEI is, and I know a lot, those people are obviously qualified, right? They're picking from qualified. However, you're not getting the best of the best just by simple statistics, because if you're decreasing your talent, the talent pool to choose from, let's say, boom, let's say um, black people are 13% of the population, right? And let's say, so you're taking, and let's say, okay, an airline, an airline has a DEI quota where they have to hire like a certain amount of black pilots. So they can't choose from anyone else except for black. They have to be black pilot. So now you're decreasing your talent pool that you're picking from to only 13%. So let's say you had 1,000 applicants for the job, or let's say, to make it easier, 100 applicants for the job. You're decreasing it to only 13. So now instead of picking from 100, you're picking from 13. And just statistically, it's not necessarily true. It's not but just statistically, you're gonna get um, less competent people. So that's just the point that he was making, that people will start questioning the qualifications of um, minorities in certain jobs because of DEI, not because they're black or because they're a minority, but because they're a minority and there's DEI. So that's an explanation to that. Somebody said then why he got shot. I mean, I don't think he got well, he got shot because people do think he's racist. A lot of people think he's racist. He's a homophobe. He's a bigot. He's hateful. People think he's a fascist. People think all of these things, and somebody probably shot him for that, but because of that. But we don't 100% know the motive of the shooter yet. He paid Iranians an enormous compliment in one of his speeches, and me as an Iranian became so sad when he died. I haven't heard that speech, but I would be interested to see that. Hiring not because of quals or merit, but for funding for DEI. Exactly. Excuses. I don't know what part is the excuse. I mean, I was just explaining that one part. That's not how DEI works. I mean, that's okay. So that's something that I've heard. That's not how DEI works. But that is how DEI works. So yes, you're probably gonna say that everybody who's a candidate for the job is already qualified. Yes, there's a certain barrier that they passed in order to be, so like anyone applying to be a pilot is obviously going to be like qualified to be a pilot, meaning they have enough hours and they have all of these things. But again, if you're decreasing the talent pool size that you have to pick from, even though everyone is qualified, not everyone has the same talent. Just because if you have 100, let's say you have 100 pilots to pick from, and they all have a pilot license, it doesn't mean that every single one of those pilots is like at the same level or has the same experience or any of those things. And even if they do have, let's say, the same experience, it still doesn't mean that they're all the same. Some are going to be better than others. And again, if you're decreasing the size of the talent pool you're picking from, it's just statistically natural for you to get less competent outcome, or people in that position. I'm not homeless. I do need help, however. I have a shaver. I'm shaving your hair. Okay, take it easy. Knock it off, John Travolta. That's funny. When I was in prison, people would sometimes say I look like John Travolta. He was anti DEI, like vehemently against it. Yes, he was very much anti DEI. So a lot of these things, and actually a lot of the videos that are supposedly racist, they really weren't. They were like anti affirmative action and anti DEI. But because he was not politically correct, and the way he said things was off the cuff, it really sounded a lot. You have a booger in your nose? Do I really? What do pilots qualified or unqualified have to do with door plug bolts not being installed? I don't know what that comment has to do with anything we're talking about. This is a fake live yell pre recorded. How's it fake when I'm literally reading the comments? Enjoy the morning, bro. Meritocracy is dangerous. Everyone thinks that they want it, but it sucks. Meritocracy is dangerous? I mean, listen, I'm open minded and I'm willing to like look into anything. I guess I'll look that up when I get off the live. How meritocracy is dangerous. I've never heard that. But um, all right. So he didn't understand DEI, neither do you. Hey, it's quite possible that I might not understand DEI. I had a long discussion with my friend earlier who was explaining DEI to me, and I'll try to learn more about it. Um, yeah, I personally don't mind DEI. I'm gonna be very truthful and honest. I'm okay with DEI. I think there's some merit, even merit to it, and I think if it helps, it's not rage bait. No, I think if it helps people to feel like they're getting equal opportunity, um, he was not racist. Just because you heard videos out of context, you have to look into those videos and see what he was really talking about. Um, but anyway, I'm okay with DI, but you also have to understand why people might not like DI. Anyway, my girl is getting upset. She's been in the car for a while and she's like not loving the fact that I'm just sitting here. We have to drive home. Damn, the sun is like crazy right now. I feel like a vampire. Anybody who wants to continue this conversation, I'm not telling you to like follow me or subscribe on some like because I need more subscribers. I'm just genuinely interested in talking to you guys more. I feel like this is a cool group, especially if you have opposing opinions. Do I condone Charlie Kirk's behavior? It depends which behavior you're talking about. There's a lot of things that I disagree with Charlie Kirk. I disagree with how unapologetically pro-Israel he was. That he never criticized Israel until the most recent days. I I disagree with him l- leaving out certain elements of why the black culture is in the state that it's in today. So he would always blame um, fatherlessness in the black community to be the number one problem for what the issue is, but which it is. However, like the lack of fathers in the black community is a symptom of greater historical injustices that happened in America before the 90s. Like, for example, the crack epidemic in the 80s, where literally crack cocaine was being pushed in black neighborhoods by the CIA, like the heroin epidemic, um, like many other things. Anyway, yeah, yeah, you're right about that. Anyway, guys, if you guys want to keep talking, I feel like this is a cool group. I feel like everyone should sub. I'll I'll try to go back on live when I get home at like in like an hour or so. So everybody should sub and we could talk a little bit more. I'm down with having somebody like also in the video with me and stuff like that. I'm down to like not necessarily debate, but talk, have a conversation. I think it's cool. He says all women over 25 should be married, but he married a 32-year-old kid woman who's older. I'm not sure. Fact scam. Damn, this is a lot. I wish I could get to all your comments, but I really have to go. I'm sorry, guys. Peace out. How do you stop this?